wanna jump?
Well, then that's fine with me. Come on.
Wait, what do you mean? Wait a minute. What the?
Raj, meet your new partner.
New partner?
A suicidal cop, a cocaine blizzard over Hollywood, and a deleted scene that would have made Riggs truly terrifying. This was the real Lethal Weapon, until Hollywood cleaned it up and changed action movies forever. The dark script that scared Hollywood before Lethal Weapon became the action comedy classic we all love, it began as something much darker. Shane Black, a young screenwriter who would later appear in Predator, penned the original script in 1987 as a brutal urban western. Black's original Martin Riggs wasn't just suicidal, he was terrifying. More Dirty Harry than wisecracking hero, he was a cop everyone feared. The script culminated in what might be the most insane finale never filmed. A truck full of cocaine exploding over the Hollywood sign, creating a surreal narcotic snowfall over Los Angeles. Warner Brothers bought this grim thriller for $250,000 and then promptly set about transforming it into something completely different. But here's the real twist. Had they kept Black's original vision, we wouldn't have gotten the franchise. But we might have gotten something darker and more revolutionary. The director who changed everything, Leonard Nimoy. Let that sink in. The man who played Spock was the studio's first choice to direct Lethal Weapon. Had Spock directed Lethal Weapon, we might have gotten a quieter, more philosophical cop drama, with no franchise, no sequels, and no Riggs as we know him today. But Nimoy turned it down, admitting he'd never directed an action movie before. He chose to make Three Men and a Baby instead. Yes, that family comedy with the infamous ghost in the window, cardboard cutout of Ted Danson. Enter Richard Donner, the man who made us believe Christopher Reeve could fly in Superman. Donner loved Black's script, but thought it was too bleak. He brought in Jeffrey Boehm, who would later write Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, to inject humor and lighten the tone. So why did Warner Brothers back off from Black's dark vision? Pause. Because they weren't looking for a one-off cult classic, they wanted a franchise. And a cop who ends movies by blowing up cocaine over Hollywood isn't exactly sequel material. The casting that almost wasn't wait. Before we drop this next bombshell about the casting, hit that like button if you've ever quoted, "I'm too old for this shit," in your daily life. It helps Prime Time Throwback dig deeper into the legends behind your favorite crime flicks. Now, imagine an alternate Hollywood where Bruce Willis played Martin Riggs, because it almost happened. Willis, who would later knock Lethal Weapon from the #1 box office spot with his forgotten rom-com Blind Date before becoming John McClane, was seriously considered for the role. A year later, he'd star in Die Hard, produced by the same producer as Lethal Weapon, Joel Silver. Shane Black's original choice for Riggs was William Hurt, the dramatic actor known for Kiss of the Spider-Woman. Studio executives quickly shot down that idea. Danny Glover secured his role as Roger Murtaugh, thanks to his acclaimed performance in The Color Purple. But the magic really happened when Mel Gibson, fresh off his Mad Max fame, auditioned. The chemistry between Gibson and Glover was electric. Had any other combination of actors been cast, the entire action genre might look different today. No buddy cop boom of the 90s, no Rush Hour, no Bad Boys. Everything hinged on this one perfect pairing. The villain's painful transformation. Gary Busey wasn't just cast as the villain. He physically transformed himself to become Jack Joshua in ways that would make Christian Bale take notes. In 1987, Busey's career was declining after a string of box office disappointments. To prepare for the role of the menacing mercenary, Busey lost a staggering 60 pounds and underwent grueling martial arts training, 4 hours daily, even between takes on set. The physical commitment paid off. Busey's lean, dangerous presence created one of action cinema's most memorable villains and revitalized his career. He would go on to star in Point Break and Predator 2, cementing his status as Hollywood's go-to unhinged antagonist. Without Busey's transformation, would the finale have had the same impact? Or would Lethal Weapon have been just another forgotten 80s action flick? The music that set the tone. Michael Kamen, who would later score Die Hard, collaborated with rock legend Eric Clapton to create a soundtrack that perfectly balanced gritty street vibes with emotional depth. For Lethal Weapon, they created a haunting guitar theme for Riggs that conveyed his emotional damage better than any dialogue could. The partnership was so successful that Clapton returned for all 3 sequels. But the film's masterstroke was opening with Jingle Bell Rock instead of an intense action cue. This juxtaposition of cheerful Christmas music against the gritty Los Angeles skyline established the film's unique tone immediately. That musical choice is what connects Lethal Weapon to Die Hard in the cultural consciousness, both Christmas-set action films that use seasonal cheer to heighten their violence and drama. The legacy that almost wasn't Lethal Weapon hit theaters in March 1987, months away from Christmas despite its holiday setting. It dominated the box office for 3 weeks straight, ultimately earning $120 million on a $15 million budget. While 48 Hours had introduced the buddy cop formula earlier, Lethal Weapon perfected and popularized it. Without Riggs and Murtaugh, we might never have gotten Tango and Cash, Rush Hour, or Hot Fuzz. The franchise continued with 3 sequels, but something was lost with each new installment. Lethal Weapon 2 maintained the balance of action and humor. By Lethal Weapon 3, Riggs had transformed from a broken, suicidal cop into a cartoon character who ate dog biscuits and comically cut the wrong wire on bombs. The 4th film reduced the action even further, focusing on soap opera-like family dynamics. This transformation mirrors the film's production journey, from Shane Black's dark, cocaine explosion thriller to Donner's balanced action dramedy to the increasingly sanitized sequels. The question we have to ask is, did Hollywood save Lethal Weapon by making it lighter, or did they slowly kill what made it special in the first place? The scene they didn't want you to see. Lethal Weapon's original opening showed a different side of Martin Riggs. The deleted scene shows Riggs drinking at a bar, examining his reflection with shame. When 2 thugs attempt to mug him in the middle of a crowded bar, Riggs brutally dispatches them. While Gibson's acting is raw and powerful, the scene was ultimately deemed too on the nose. The theatrical version introduces Riggs more subtly, alone in his trailer with a gun in his mouth, allowing Gibson's performance to convey his character's pain without spelling it out. This deleted opening represents the 2 versions of Lethal Weapon that always existed in tension: the explicit, unflinching thriller Shane Black wrote, and the more nuanced, accessible film Richard Donner made. Had they kept this scene, Riggs would have been introduced as a violent force first, broken man second. Would we have still rooted for him? Or would he have become something closer to an anti-hero than the lovable loose cannon we remember? The crossover that never happened. We remember Die Hard as the definitive Christmas action movie. But what if Lethal Weapon had kept its original darkness, its cocaine snowfall ending, its uncompromising vision of a broken cop with nothing to lose? But here's the twist that makes this even more fascinating. Bruce Willis knocking Lethal Weapon from the #1 spot with Blind Date before becoming McClane, Joel Silver producing both Die Hard and Lethal Weapon, both films set at Christmas, both featuring cops who don't play by the rules. These weren't just competing franchises. They were parallel universes separated by one casting decision. The Riggs we got was broken, but redeemable. The one we almost had? Too far gone. And that's what makes Lethal Weapon's journey, from near tragedy to genre-defining buddy flick, so unforgettable. Bonus act: the poster that lied. Hollywood marketing often misrepresents films, but Lethal Weapon's original poster might be the most misleading in action movie history. The American release featured a stark black-and-white close-up of Gibson and Glover, looking more like they were promoting a courtroom drama than an explosive action film. International markets received a completely different poster from the same photo shoot, one that actually looked like an action movie. Gibson and Glover appeared more dynamic. The image was in color, and action scenes were incorporated into the design. This marketing confusion reveals something crucial. Even after filming, the studio didn't fully understand what they had created: a new genre hybrid that would dominate action cinema for the next decade. Subscribe so you don't miss any videos, and turn on the notification bell so you know when I post a new video, and leave your favorite Lethal Weapon quote in the comments. We'll feature the best ones next episode. So next time someone asks if Die Hard is a Christmas movie, remind them that in another timeline we might be having the same debate about Lethal Weapon. a film that was almost too lethal for its own good.